this work and what's this? Once again, it's help eliminate those thoughts and those concerns, because it's a great opportunity to get in front of someone and to allow them to read in the comfort of their own home.
Yeah.
And maybe generate some questions that, once again, that they didn't even know they should have asked. And that's what we want to do with a book, and that's what we want to do with a conversation is I want to listen to you, and then maybe there are some things that this isn't a field that you're well-versed in, so let's look at these 5 or 6 or 7 different things and see how they affect you. And we always tease about that. We have the person that we visit with that asks 10 questions. That's great. We want them to do that. But now let's talk about the 10 questions that you should have also asked.
Right.
And look at that, and because that just brings in a different perspective. And it's not necessarily hitting someone over the head with a hammer and saying, why didn't you think about that? It's just opening up the thoughts and saying, well, maybe if we went down this avenue, this would be great. If we went down this avenue, this would be terrific for you as well.
Well, education is huge. Just even a little bit of education and learning from the book and a conversation with you, there's so much more that can bring a person a little more at ease, mm-hmm. and let them know that there is, light at the end of the tunnel and everything's not hopeless. Get your planning started before it turns into crisis planning. I mean, you can do the crisis planning, but it's definitely not as easy.
No, it's kind of like a fire sale. You just you're limited on what you can do.
Yeah,
you're limited on what you can do.
So, advice to everybody is just make the phone call, get started. Really, it's even if it's just a little bit, and you can adjust. You can add more as you go along, right?
Yeah.
And as your financial situation changes, you can make it more, make it less, whatever you have to, right?
Yeah, and that's the whole key to it, because as we look at, we always hear statistics about inflation, and I don't mind saying it's. I have a tough time with inflation numbers that I hear on the radio and see on television, because I know what fuel is, I know what groceries are, I know what clothing is, and so it's probably a little more than what we might be told.
Sure.
But what I can tell you is hospital cost, nursing home cost, those expenses, they're very, very well documented. And if we look at the potential increase in those expenses over time, it's just about scary. It really is, because where I mentioned the $6,000 figure for Oklahoma for a semi-private room, if we look at that, even at a small 3% number, okay, that 3% is going to, let's see here, let me back up with that. Let's look at it. Say we had a 6% inflation rate, which really is now the question in healthcare cost. Those would double every 12 years. So that $6,300 that I speak of for Oklahoma, it could very easily be $12,600 in 12 years with a 6% inflation rate.
Wow.
So when we step back and look at this, what can we do to help protect ourselves? Because we definitely don't want to go broke while we're in that nursing home.
100%. 100%. That's such a great point. Well, Mitch, it's been awesome talking to you. I love the way you go about things and the way you break it down into layman's terms. And again, it's all about the conversation. I've had a great conversation with you here today. How can people get a hold of you?
The website's actually dominion-capital.com, or the easiest way is to reach us by calling us at 405-400-9256. Again, that's 405-400-9256. All
right. Well, again, the name of the book is Don't Go Broke in a Nursing Home. It is Mitch McAbee of Dominion Capital Management out of Oklahoma City. Thanks again, Mitch.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks for listening to Planning for the Future, the podcast, with our guest, long-term care advisor Mitch McAbee. For a free copy of Mitch's book, call 405-400-9256. Planning for the Future is brought to you by the Elder Care Media Network and produced by thepodcastproshop.com.